And thirdly, there was Rose Young, or as she favoured to call herself, Rush the Organ, the grand-aunt of the present Dowager Lady Brookborough, one of the Brookborough family of County Fermanagh. Rose Young hailed from Galgorm Castle in County Antrim. She was also from a big house, a unionist ascendancy background. But unlike Margaret Dobbs, my lady Dobb, and unlike Ida MacNeil, she probably remained in spirit a mild unionist for the rest of her life, because she blended, if you like, a great love for the Irish language, as spoken by the people of the Glens whom she visited in their cottages at the turn of the 20th century, and as her diary reflects, but also, of course, for a scholarly study of Irish, but she blended that with a mild unionism. We find in her diary, for example, for December 1910, at the heart of the Home Rule versus Carson's Army crisis, she writes, entertained Sir Edward Carson to tea tonight at Galgorm and went to great unionist meeting in Ballymena Town Hall. The following day, went to my Irish class in St Mary's Hall in Belfast. So she actually spanned both traditions. Rose Young, or she called herself Rush the Organ. And finally, there was Alice Milligan, that great Irish Methodist poetess and, if you like, lover of Ireland. Alice Milligan, from a wealthy business Methodist background in Omagh, her father, a great antiquarian, became a Gaelic League lantern lecturer in the early years of the 20th century. A great Parnellite who became a great Irish nationalist, and indeed on her tombstone in Omagh, her unionist brothers, one of whom was a unionist mayor of Bangor, County Down, have placed a stone which reads, "She loved no land but Ireland." These were the founders of Fish the Land a century ago. We were celebrating these events tonight. The Fish itself was a tremendous success due to the hard work and vigour of the organising committee and a number of local national teachers, two of whom from the west of Ireland, mentioned earlier, Hugh Flannery from Mayo and Joseph Duffy, who came, I think, from Sligo, who were teaching in the Glens and who had Irish themselves. They did much to promote the language in the schools, in the Fish, in the Rhine, in this area at that time. And also, the first Glens Fish was a very ecumenical occasion, as indeed the press, both unionist and nationalist, reported. It was marked with the presence of unionists and nationalists, Roman Catholics and Protestants, and clergy of all denominations. The main speaker was the great Irish agricultural pioneer, Sir Horace Plunkett, the man who had founded the creamery movement in Ireland in the late 19th century, who pioneered the idea of Irish agricultural cooperation. He was a former unionist MP. Others on that great occasion in Glenarth in June 1904 included Sir Daniel Dixon, a Lord Mayor of Belfast and future unionist MP, Sir Hugh Smiley of Larne. In fact, Sir Hugh Smiley provided lunch for the platform party on his yacht in Red Bay. And Roger Casement, of course, managing to arrive at the Fish. And I knew an old lady who was 96 when she died, and she remembers cycling across the hills from Ballymena to attend the first Fish, and seeing this man with, she described, beautiful chiseled features, Roger Casement, back there in 1904. And Casement chartered a tug to bring 70 native Irish speakers from Rockery, from Rathbone Island, on that occasion. It's interesting that press reaction from the unionist press in Belfast was universally favourable to that first hosting of the Gaelic Glenarth in 1904. If you look, for example, at the Belfast Northern Week, a unionist newspaper, it gave the Fish extensive coverage. It reads, "A heavenly morning, a march with pipers and banners, a competition, shows of industrial work, Gaelic games, songs and dancing, and not the least attraction, a Gaelic tea in Holden's transfigured hall at Glenarth, where muffins and trumpets were sweetened by the music of a band of harp and trumpeters. Above all, a pleasant mingling of different classes and sects without even suggestion of political and religious rancor." And the week concluded, "The Fish reflects several aspects of the Irish Renaissance. And these are aspects which Irishmen, without distinction of creed or class, may take satisfaction from. The Gaelic League had helped people," the week remarked, "to discover they had traditions of their own. Music, language, crafts, culture, folklore. The Fish," he wrote, "held out the promise of a truly united Ireland." Today, 100 years on, in a different Ireland, a divided Ireland, we can see the dual significance of the first Glens Feis of a century ago. Firstly, the Feis was an important landmark in the Irish Renaissance and the movement towards an independent Irish state. It was important in that movement, that kind of Großstadt nationalism at the beginning of the 20th century. The friendships forged in Glenariff that day were crucial in the future history of Ireland. Casement met MacNeil, MacNeil met Bigger, Bigger met Bulwer Hobson, the Hollywood County Down Quaker, who was a leading figure in the Gaelic League, and reports Joseph Campbell from Belfast and Corrin Collum from County Westmeath, County Longford, met for the first time, walking up the glen at Glenariff in the early hours of the morning in the wake of the Feis. But secondly, we're also aware of the promised lighting. The failure, sadly, to sustain the optimism, the shining vision, the ashling, the unity of purpose of the men and women of every creed, to establish a new Ireland in which old animosities would be banished forever. This remains a high ideal, and it's welcome to see a renaissance of the Irish language right across the north and across political barriers, thanks to organisations like Conradh the Gaeilge and the Ultag Trust. For the people of the Glens, the 1904 Feis, all the Feisina since, have been crucial in rekindling an awareness and pride in their native language, their music, dancing and history. I think the audience here tonight in its size and quality speak volumes for that, if you like, cherishing of their heritage. Today, Irish is widely taught throughout North Antrim. Irish music and dancing are thriving. Hurling and camogie, symbolised by the presence of Stia from Leah, the Shield of the Hurlers, presented by F.J. Bigger and Roger Casement in 1904, is here tonight, and that's testimony to that. Local studies are widely, if you like, pursued in the Glens of Antrim today. And above all, there is an instinctive pride in being a Glens person. Today, the ideals of Francis Joseph Bigger, Roger Casement, Miss Dawes, and Rush the Organ are still alive in the Glens of Antrim, and I'm very pleased to be able to discuss them with you here this evening. Put them in a